Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Board Gamers. My name is Dave. And today we're going to continue my events with a printed energy resource that can be added to Wonder Man. This is part 3, which is leadership. Now, Wonder Man is coming in February alongside with Hercules. So that's pretty cool. And Wonder Man is the 7th hero with unique deck building. Let's take a look at what he can do. You may include events with a printed energy resource icon from any aspect in your deck, and then set up put ionic physiology into play. So that is what the purpose of this video is the leadership events that you can add to a Wonder Man deck. Now, there are quite a few events with energy, so that's why I've broken it up into several videos. But let's take a look at ionic physiology. It's a superpower, permanent, max 3 cards tucked here. Response: after you play an event with a printed energy resource, tuck that event from your discard pile under this card. Heal 1 damage from your identity. Then on the hero, Wonder Man gets +1 attack for each card tucked under ionic physiology. And after Wonder Man makes a basic attack, discard each card tucked under ionic physiology. All right. So now let's take a look at the leadership events that can be added to a Wonder Man deck. All right. So the first card is To Me, My X-Men. It's a 1-cost event. It's a tactic. Play only if your identity has the X-Men trait. Hero action: search the top 5 cards of your deck for an X-Men ally and put it into play. If that ally is still in play at the end of the phase, add it to your hand. Now, this requires quite a bit of setup. First of all, you'd have to play multiplayer, and another person would have to put an honorary X-Men on you for this to trigger. Then you would have to have X-Men allies in your deck. So this is a card I probably would not include, but I'm just showing it that it is possible, but it does require quite a bit of setup, and I don't think it's worth including in your deck. Next, we have Welcome Aboard. 0-cost event. Play only if your identity has the Guardian trait, max 1 per round. Hero action: reduce the resource cost of the next ally played this phase by 2. Now, this requires some setup in multiplayer where someone would have to make you an honorary Guardian for this to work. But if that's the case and you've got a lot of allies, it might be worth it. Hopefully you can get the honorary early enough and be able to utilize the discount for the resources. Then, of course, it gets tucked around under ionic physiology. Next is You Got This. 1-cost event. It's a tactic. Hit response: after you exhaust your hero to make a basic fort or attack, discard an ally you control. Add that ally's matching power to your hero's power for this use and ready your hero. Now, one of my favorite allies to do this with is Grant Ward. He costs 0, but he's got a 2 thwart and 2 attack. So he's easy to come back with, like Make the Call and cards like that to get some recursion going. If you're playing leadership, this is an amazing card. If you're not playing leadership, then you don't get the recursion. But, if you still got a good ally with only 1 hit point left, it's a nice way to increase your basic attack, especially with the +1 from tucking other cards under ionic physiology. And then you get to restart the process again by this card being under ionic physiology. So that's pretty good. Next is All for One. It's a 2-cost event. It's an attack, hero action attack. Deal 3 damage to an enemy and exhaust any number of Avenger characters you control. Deal 1 additional damage to that enemy for each character exhausted this way. So now, if you're doing an Avenger ally swarm deck, so if you're playing leadership, this is really good because there's a lot of Avenger characters. Aggression is also another choice because there's quite a few Avenger allies in aggression as well. And of course, this can be in an Avenger deck, in an aggression deck because the fact that it's got a printed energy. So this is All for One. Next is Avengers Assemble. It costs 4, max 1 per round. Hero action: ready each Avenger character you control until the end of the phase. Each Avenger character in play gets +1 thwart and +1 attack. Now, this is a pretty spendy card, but if you combine it with the All for One, which was the previous entry, you've exhausted them all to get that bonus for your attack. Now you play this, and then you can ready them, which gives them +1 thwart, +1 attack. And then you can, which of course is in yourself as well. And then all those allies can activate again with the +1 thwart, +1 attack. And then you, of course, got the +1 attack from playing all for one and +1 attack from this when you do a basic attack. And then, of course, this goes under ionic physiology. And now you're got a +1 attack for your next activation. Next is Eternity. It's a 2-cost event. It's a cosmic entity action. Shuffle this card into the encounter deck without looking. When revealed, draw 1 card and remove this card from the game. This effect cannot be canceled. Now, I would not recommend this card because it will never go under ionic physiology. But it is a valid choice. You could be playing Justice, and you could throw this card in if you want. Next is Joining Forces. It costs 4. It's an alliance. Hero action. As a group, the players put a total of 1 Avenger ally and 1 Guardian ally into play from their hands. Now, this is kind of spendy, but if you're doing multiplayer and we have someone who has a lot of Avenger allies, you, for example, and you're playing with a Guardian player who has a lot of Guardian allies, say Star-Lord, then this could come into play really nice. Each of you play 2. You pay 2 to get 2 spendy allies out. And then, of course, you get to put this under ionic physiology. And you get 1 of your Avenger allies out, and Star-Lord can get 1 of his Guardian allies out. Next, we have Lead from the Front, 2-cost event. Hero action, choose a player. Each character that player controls gets +1 thwart and +1 attack until the end of the phase. Now, if you're playing an ally-heavy deck, this is great. So all your allies can get a +1 thwart or +1 attack. Or if you're playing multiplayer in the other person's leadership, you can actually help with some extra activations. They might have Lead to the Front in their deck playing leadership, and then you have some copies of Lead from the Front in your deck, and you can give them extra activations, or extra thwart and attack. So plus then, of course, it goes under ionic physiology, and then you get +1 to your standard attack in addition to the +1 attack if you choose yourself. So that is Lead from the Front. Next is Morale Boost. Cost 1. Hero action. Choose a hero. Until the end of the round, that hero gets +1 thwart, +1 attack, and +1 defense. So, of course, you choose yourself, and you're going to get the +1 to all 3 of your stats, which is great. And then this gets tucked under ionic physiology. And then when you turn around and make that basic attack, you're getting the +1 attack from the benefit of Morale Boost, plus the +1 attack for it being under ionic physiology. So you're getting +2 attack. And on top of that, you actually have a +1 defense for the villain phase. Or if threat is way out of control, instead of doing the basic attack, you got the +1 thwart. So Morale Boost is a really good card for Wonder Man. Next is Mutant Mayhem. It costs 3. It's an alliance card. Hero action, choose an X-Force ally and an X-Men ally and return them to their owner's hands. Those players play those allies, ignoring their resource cost. So now this is good for multiplayer, of course. You would have to have some X-Force or X-Men allies in your deck to justify this. I mean, you can do it. And if you're playing with, like I said, in multiplayer, and there's a lot of X-Force and X-Men allies, then this could be worth it. Otherwise, I probably would not include this card just because it doesn't quite fit with Wonder Man unless you're specifically building around this card. But that is Mutant Mayhem. Next is Push Ahead. It costs 3. It's a thwart event. It does require a mental as one of the cards, one of the resources to pay for it. Hero action, thwart. Exhaust your hero. Remove threat from a scheme equal to the total of your hero's thwart, attack, and defense values. Now, I can see a deck where you're playing Justice as your aspect, and then you have a sense of justice, so that, will provide the mental, and you keep 3 cards under ionic physiology, which gives you +3 to your attack. Now you have a value of 8, And then you add heroic conditioning and heroic intuition, which would bump your stats to 10. So I can totally see if you're not removing the events from under ionic physiology, this card could be really nice. Next is side by side. Costs 2. Hero action. Ready your sidekick, ready your hero, and choose one. Heal 1 damage from both characters, or both characters get +1 tort and +1 attack till the end of the phase. Now, of course, you would have to be leadership, so this would not be an off aspect at that point to get the sidekick upgrade, which you can only get in leadership. So this isn't an additional thing, but it is a card that you can play. And also, once you play it, you tuck it under ionic physiology. So you're still tucking it under, but you would have to be leadership for this combo to work out. Next is teamwork. The 0 cost event. When you use your basic tort or basic attack power, exhaust an ally you control, add that ally's matching power to your hero's power for this use. So this is a nice use where you have your Voltron, who might have thwart and attack built up from upgrades that you've attached to them. And now you can exhaust that ally, get that bonus when you do a basic, and that ally will not take consequential damage. So that is really good. And of course, the best upgrades are leadership, but there are some good upgrades in aggression as well. So you could do this in aggression and not have to worry about your Voltron taking consequential damage. So that's good. Next was a card that was previewed in the Wonder Man article, Unified Strike. It costs 0. It's a tactic. Hero interrupt. When an ally uses the basic power, exhaust your hero. Add your hero's matching power to that ally's power for this use. That ally does not take consequential damage for this use. So again, this could work with the Voltron, and if you have you have 3 cards tucked under ionic physiology, you now have a base attack of 4. So you can add 4 to that. Another option is to go aggression, because there's some aggression upgrades that you can greatly increase your Voltron. You can have a aggressive Voltron, and then add combat training and aggressive conditioning to your stats. So now you have a base attack of 6, and you can do 6 extra damage with your ally, and the ally will not take consequential damage on top of whatever the base attack the ally does. So that's amazing. And the final card is Psychic Kicker. You cannot play this because you don't have the psionic trait. I'm just including this when you do a search for events with energy, this would show up. Okay, so that was the leadership events with a printed energy that can be added to a Wonder Man deck. So that's pretty good. We have one more video in this series, protection. So we'll see you there. Thank you for watching, everyone. Please like, subscribe, and click the notification bell. Thank you.